Hey everybody, Kaoiji here. So recently I actually put out a video talking about Irregular Magic High School, and then immediately after I put out another video because we then had the confirmation about the Sword Art Online collaboration meeting the Western audience this upcoming May 12th to be exact. And since then, the reception behind collaborations in the global version has been mixed. There have been a lot of people saying that Irregular Magic High School isn't exactly massive, because I use the word massive because considering the reception that it has both in the West and the Japanese audience, it's pretty big. And then you also have the Sword Art Online collaboration, which a lot of people are basically either all for it, or there's the other subgroup of people that are basically saying that it's the Fortnite of the anime community. And if you think about all of the collaboration the global version has actually had, the Konosuba, the Hatsune Miku, and then the Persona collaborations, as well as the Shining series, a lot of them have been met with really good reception up until now. And a lot of the reason that a lot of the reception has been, so mixed recently is because a lot of people are expecting bigger collaborations. We're talking about things like Evangelion, because as a lot of us know, the Evangelion collaboration was huge, but let's also not ignore the fact that the Evangelion, name in and of itself is quite expensive nowadays, especially when you go through licensing in the West. So to use Neon Genesis Evangelion as an example of why other collaborations may or may not make its way over to the West, let's talk about how expensive they are and how they might wind up translating when it comes to the video game community. So to use an example, Vulture.com originally in June 28th of 2019 reported that Netflix was going to be buying the rights to Neon Genesis Evangelion to be able to stream it on their platform. Now, Netflix did wind up eventually getting the rights to be able to stream Neon Genesis Evangelion globally, but it did cost them a pretty penny. And that penny was actually $3 million. But that's not the actual reported cost, because we don't actually have that yet, even though it's been 2 years since the acquisition. Now, a couple of other reasons why some people were then mad, and there was a lot of controversy over the Netflix adaptation, was mainly because of the redub that wound up occurring. And that's because the previous global license holder, ADV, or AD Vision, might have actually had some issues with the original dub when it came to the Netflix acquisition. So to be able to, appease everybody and to avoid any copyright claims from any sort of person, Netflix decided to redub it. Now, this was again met with a lot of community backlash, because a lot of diehard Neon Genesis Evangelion fans are like, hey, that's not right. But eventually it's been incredibly well received, even still today, whereas a lot of newer fans are now excited for 3.0 to 1.0. So it's not like Sega's trying to then acquire the rights to be able to stream it. There would still have to be some sort of agreement with the original license holders, which seems to be Kara at the moment. So using that as an example, you probably might even see that there would be some sort of, reasons as to why they can't acquire it. It might be that there's a little bit of a licensing hell that they'd be having to go through, or they would have to be paying an exorbitant amount of money to be able to use the characters and their likeness within their video game. So there's actually a couple other reasons why I personally believe that acquiring too many collaborations may not even be that great for Sega in this case. At the time of recording this video, New Genesis is actually on their horizon and almost about to release. When I say almost, I mean, again, at the time of recording this video, it's about maybe 1 or 2 months off. So spending the hundreds of thousands of dollars or even the millions of dollars that may occur to be able to gain a lot of licensing to the several anime series or animes that a lot of people are incredibly inspired by, it wouldn't make sense financially for Sega to do that up until New Genesis, where they could either acquire the licensings in both Japan and North America or the global market, and then simultaneously release said collaborations in both the global market and Japan, and then say, hey, we're going to be able to profit off of this. Because there are a ton of players right now who are currently trying not to spend as much money as they can on scratches, except for maybe for some hairstyle or emotes that they'll be able to take into New Genesis. So with that in mind, they're trying to play it smart with a lot of collaborations that people have been excited for and have been wanting for quite some time, but also keeping in mind that a lot of players may not be spending a lot of money right now, considering the fact that New Genesis is right on the horizon. Now, again, this is pure speculation, as I don't necessarily work for Sega or anything like that, but this is just where my mind would go, because if I were the developer, I would probably say, yeah, we can make some money off this. This could be mutually beneficial to anyone who holds the licensing to, let's say, Irregular Magic High School and ourselves. However, it's, going to be kind of sort of a placeholder. And that's where I see a lot of the anime and even AC scratches that we're currently getting right now as placeholders. But I do have some hope that especially with Neon Genesis Evangelion, is that we might see a reacquisition of the license to be able to do another collaboration maybe in New Genesis, because it would just make even more sense to make an even flashier quest line that involves Eva in New Genesis. And it would probably make more sense for them to even acquire even more licensings when New Genesis launches as well. I'm just, putting all this speculation out there just because this is something that a lot of players have been, kind of looking towards, but they haven't exactly been saying, oh my God, I want these. But there might be reasons as to why, especially again, using Neon Genesis Evangelion as the example. Whenever they created the actual quest line, it used the official music that was actually available in Evangelion 1.0 You Are Not Alone, the original movie. So not only would they have to translate, program, and then reacquire all the licensing, there's probably just a lot more work that they would have to do to be able to make that global ready, rather than something like Sword Art, which they probably have that freshly made and already with global in mind when the Japanese version acquired it. And then to keep in mind that the Sword Art Online was actually a collaboration that kept getting delayed over and over and over, and then only just released at the end of 2020. So it was probably a little bit easier for them to extend the contract to be able to add it over into the global version. So I'm not saying that I don't want these collaborations. I'm really just saying that a lot of these collaborations, for the most part, are probably out of the question at the moment. But when New Genesis launches and we start seeing the game be populated again and a lot more people spending money on the AC scratches and stuff, then it would probably be more feasible for Sega to be able to acquire a lot of the licensing and then make it available for the global market. Now, trust me, I want the Neon Genesis Evangelion collaboration as well. I also want a lot of the super obscure collaborations that they wound up having over the years. There's so many collabs that the JP version wound up getting, especially like with Fate's Day, which is another reason why I said that the irregular one was massive, because it actually had to do with Aniplex holding the license. But anyway, I digress. At the end of the day, licensing is hard. It's weird. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world. However, we ask for it, and well, Sega seems to deliver a lot of the time. So with that, this has actually been a much longer video than I was expecting. So I'm going to end the video out here. Thank you for listening to me rant about anime and licensing and shit that I may not know a thing about, but have some sort of knowledge on in some way, shape, or form. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Stay awesome. Stay beautiful. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. I'm out.